Now I've got to go and like count with my toes, and I got to figure some stuff out. Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So today, if I post this when I'm supposed to, is January 23rd, 2025, which means that it is officially 8 years since I started this YouTube channel. Posted for the first time on January 23rd, 2017, which seems like an eternity ago. I was wearing the same sweatshirt because I don't change my wardrobe ever, but also I love this sweatshirt. I can't believe how scripted I was and how stiff and awkward. I can't believe y'all stayed around for that, but if you have, thank you so much. Let's talk some more about the Jungle Cruise. Several of you have mentioned that you would like some more information about the actual like running of the ride, so that's what I'm doing today. And I'm probably going to focus just on either like the dock or the boat, and we'll do those in like 2 separate videos. That way it doesn't get too much, because I feel like that could just, like, if I'm just yelling at you for 15 straight minutes, like I feel like that's a lot. Y'all tell me. So I think today we're going to start with the dock. So let me preface this as I do. Let me put my little caveat in like I do every time. Everything I am telling you comes from my experience working there in 2012. So if things have changed, please always do let us know. There are land and boat positions, and they are, as you would expect, either on the land or on a boat. And you alternate through, there's rotation. So you would go and you would sign in with your little number, and it would print out a little sheet for you, and it would say like, Megan, go to position number 1, greeter, and replace so-and-so. So then I would take that sheet and I would go to whoever was at greeter, and I would say, hi Sienna, or whoever, and I would hand her the sheet, and it would show all of the positions that were currently active, and they alternate land, boat, pretty much. Some of them are land to land positions, which was like, oh, we love that. You would get that rotation, you would go to the person, and it would tell you where to go next. So if you were at the greeter position, you would most likely go and you would hop on a boat, and then after usually 2 boat cycles is how long you would be on a boat, and someone would come and they would give you rotation, you'd hop off a boat and you'd go to front unload. I don't remember the exact order that the rotation went in, but you would rotate through the positions like that. So if you were there for a decent shift length, you would rotate through all of the positions eventually in that day. For the land positions, there are greeter, there was fast pass return, there was fast pass distribution, which is not there anymore, wheelchair assist or ADA assist, there is front unload, back unload, front load, back load, dispatch, and grouper merge. I think that's everybody. Those were all the positions. So for the most part, they're self-explanatory. They are descriptive of what the position actually is. Greeter stands out front, says, hey guys, welcome on in. Come on into the world famous Jungle Cruise. Enjoy your time. And also answers questions. Guests come down from wherever they, the ramp or the stairs, and they're like, how do I get to? Up the stairs to the left is Pirates. Straight up this ramp ahead of you is the treehouse. Like, closest restroom, straight up that ramp and hang a left at the wrought iron. That's what the greeter position does. They are there to answer questions and welcome, as you would expect. Fast pass return, when I was there, was checking the actual physical paper fast passes. People would walk up and they'd show them to you. You just had to make sure that their time frame was accurate to the time that it currently was, and then you would let them come on through. Now I'm sure that there is a person there scanning magic bands and such for the Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, whatever we're calling it now. Yes, I hate it. I'm not okay. We're moving on. Fast pass distribution was back in the day of the paper fast passes. There were those machines that you would walk up to, and you would take your physical, a ticket, paper, or the key to the world when you would get those. And you would stick it in the machine and it would spit out fast passes for you. That person was just there to assist if you had any issues. A lot of times it was guests who didn't understand that you could only have one at a time. So there was a lot of explaining the fast pass procedures and the actual like fast pass system to people. That was a lot of what distribution was. The other thing that distribution did a lot of was dealing with demagnetized tickets. So a lot of people put their tickets in their wallets, and then they would demagnetize for whatever reason. I don't understand science. So we'd take the tickets and we would like rub them on our pants, and for some reason that would help sometimes. Run them through, and then it would spit out the ticket. But if that didn't work, we would do recovery, and there was one fast pass machine, I think it was the far left as you're looking at the Jungle Cruise. There was a button on the back that would just spit out tickets. I don't know if all fast pass machines had that. Other CMs who worked at attractions, did y'all all have a fast pass machine with just like a button that would like spit them out nonstop? So we would go over there and we would just like make some magic, and they would have those. We'd be like, okay, just go to guest services at some point and have them like print you a new ticket if it was not working. Wheelchair assist, as you would expect, was where we would assist guests who came in a wheelchair. That was where we had a separate line because there was a rope boat, which I'll talk about on the boat edition of this. People would come, and if they were in a wheelchair or an ECV, if you had children in a stroller that counted as a wheelchair. Jungle Cruise was completely ADA accessible, so we did ask the question when you would arrive at the wheelchair line, the ADA line, we would say, hey, are you comfortable transferring? And that just means, are you comfortable making your own way onto the boat? If you're not, for any reason, then that's completely fine. We do have a boat where you can just drive your chair straight on, push your chair straight on, however you want to do it. Then we have that option. If you are comfortable making your own way onto the boat and you just might need a little bit of extra time, that's when we'll use the rope boat. So those were the two options when you joined us through the ADA accessible line. Front unload, back unload, pretty self-explanatory. Those are the positions where you help guests off of the boat. So there's always front and back for load and unload. You always stand, I don't think you can see me from back here, but you would always step down inside the boat, have your hands out. One leg would be on the dock, one leg would be on the boat, kind of trying to help anchor so that you could help pull, not pull, but help guests up and out of the boat, because it does rock. It is a boat, so there was some movement there, and some people had a little bit of trouble, so we were always there to help assist them out of the boat if they needed that. And same going for loading, with the exception that loading also has to play Tetris. Front load was the hardest to me because you have to people Tetris to get people into the spots, and a lot of times they don't want to sit where you want to tell them, which is fine. Like, if you have a specific place you want to sit, always tell the cast members. They're more than likely going to be able to accommodate you. However, they do not read minds. So if someone says, hey, can you sit right there for me? And you don't say anything and you just go somewhere else, like, you've messed up my numbers now, and now I've got to go and like count with my toes, and I got to figure some stuff out. At backload, you just say, come on in, guys, and up to like 20 people, you can just keep on coming. Go around that engine all the way up to the front for me. Go around that engine all the way up to the front. You help them on and send them around. But front load is, as you're looking at the Jungle Cruise boat, is the dock side. That's the docks. The dock side is what front load puts in. So they would have the space next to the skipper. They would have the center crates. They would have the space between the two bars down beside the engine. And then once everyone else is filled in, then they would say, have two of you sit right here in the doorway for me. So that's how they would fill that out. And you have certain numbers of people who can sit certain places. Like, you usually don't put more than 3 between the bars unless you've got a set of 2 adults and 2 kids. You can usually fit them between the bars. Try to keep less than 5 people in, certain spaces. And so you're trying to, hey, can you sit there? Can you sit here? Blah, 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 blah. And when people are like, I don't want to sit on the middle, I want to sit over here. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, that space could hold 4. You just used it with 2. Now I got to find parties of 2. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking because you have dispatch. That's the other position that's right there. Dispatch is one of the first positions to get knocked out if you are short-staffed, because they just stand there and they watch for that little lantern that flickers right at the edge of the dock. That is timed to, I think it was 56 seconds, 58 seconds, something like that. It was under a minute. That's how fast you're supposed to be loading the boats. And when that would flicker, that was like the cue to like get the boat on out of here. Person is over here just watching, waiting, ready to send you. You're on the clock. So if you've got to Tetris faster, then you get all frazzled. And that was just, for people with anxiety, absolutely not. No, thank you. Last position is the grouper position, merge, where the fast pass and the standby lines meet. And a lot of people hated that position because that was where you encountered the most grumpy guests, because you had to take a certain number of fast pass guests for every one standby guest, because fast pass has been promised that they are going to get on faster. So We had multiple stages. I don't know what the stages are now. I don't even remember specifically what the numbers were. I do remember Code Hippo, I think, was like the highest, like the red alert, get everyone on these freaking boats. That was 10-1. That was 1 person from standby, 10 people from FastPass. That was the ratio that we had to use. The lower ratios were more comparable. You had to get those guests in. So you would say, how many here? At the standby line, they'd say 4. You'd say, okay, great, come on in, go down that left side for me. And then you would be like, how many here, guys? And you would have to then be mathing. You have to get, they said 4, you're at Code Hippo or whatever. So now we got to get 40 people. You got 2, come on, right side, 4, left side. Like, you just have to be doing that. And for some reason, under pressure, I can do math. I can't do math under normal circumstances, but when I'm on a crunch, then I can do math. So I'm like, yes, I love this. Let's go. And I was too busy to care that people were cussing at me over this shoulder. I like, just let it roll off. I'm like, I will get to you in just a second. Hang on, guys. Here we go. Let's go. And I would clear those FastPass queues. I just shut it all out and I was like doing my job. I sometimes would get called upon. They would be like, we're backed up. We need someone at Grouper who can just clear it. And that was my specialty. I was not an awesome skipper. I am not funny. We all know this, but I could clear a dang FastPass line. So that is a little run through of some of the stuff that happens in the procedures, the running of the Jungle Cruise on the land positions. I'm sure there are things that I have left out. I will try to go through it and make some notes. If you are a former or current skipper, please do let us know things that I have forgotten or things that have changed. Always, please feel free to let us know those down in the comments. And if you have any questions specific to the functions of the Jungle Cruise or anything else college program, me related, let me know and I am happy to answer those. And then we will do another version where I talk about the actual boat operation and the things that go on boats in a future video. But for today, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.